What is it? What are we getting tomorrow that 20,000 plus people bought tickets for? What is it? An internet rumor that hasn't been confirmed by one of the fastest rising wrestling companies of all time, All Elite Wrestling. An internet rumor sold 20,000 tickets. Speculation sold 20,000 plus tickets. And Tony Khan, AEW president, says that tomorrow at AEW Rampage in the United Center, in front of the largest crowd the company has ever had, you will get the most anticipated announcement in AEW history. Is it CM Punk? Well, he is the man that everyone's talking about. Are we getting it? We will find out, and we're going to talk about it now on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Top Story of the Day. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh, what time is it there? Well, hang on 1 second there. Keep checking your watch there. I'm here with Jeremy Bennett. Keep catching watch there. What time you got there?
It's 24 hours to clobbering time.
24 hours to clobbering time?
Yeah.
If you're with us, watch out. You're going to want to watch out what we're doing here this week. We have SummerSlam this weekend. We have NXT TakeOver, and we have this anticipated edition of AEW Rampage in Chicago tomorrow. I will be there, so you're going to want to make sure your notifications are on. We are also boots on the ground in Las Vegas tomorrow for some exclusive interviews and a tryout today. We are covering the WWE tryouts for new talent there. So we're going to have all that at sportskeeda.com, as well as our video channels. If you are not subscribing to our channel, what are you doing? On Facebook, make sure those notifications are on as well. We are just less than 500 subscribers away from our 20,000 goal. Can you get us there? Do you know a wrestling fan that watches wrestling videos? Tell them about what we're doing. We produce hours of content every single day. Also, you can get us in your ears in the podcast. All right, we're dropping a bunch of different podcast audio today as well. Jeremy Bennett with me as well from the news desk of Sportskeeda.com. I am Kev Kellum. It is a very intense time. Obviously, you saw that opening graphic. Let me show it to you one more time. There behind him.
What's up, Phil?
Don't call him Phil. You don't know him like that. And behind them there, you see the United Center, one of the biggest and most historic venues of sports in the United States. I say that with some bias as I lean over and have my Chicago flag socks out there.
As you got your ticket ready.
I do have my ticket ready. I will be in the 300 section. I'll be in the cheap seats, but I don't care. I'll be in the heat, baby. This is a huge day, a huge week for wrestling because, let's not forget this. John Cena and Roman Reigns are going to fight in a full football stadium on Saturday night.
How's that guy in the green shirt always get in the front row too? You ever notice that guy? Go back. The guy at the tan hat, that tan hat guy with the goatee.
Good for him. He's
always on the hard camera.
He's got a good hookup here.
He's always there.
So we know what tomorrow is. And even if there is SummerSlam this weekend, and even if there is NXT TakeOver, I think those shows are going to be great. I think they're going to deliver. I think people are going to have a lot of fun. Knock it off with AEW's going to blow the water. All this stuff. Just have fun.
It's a 1 hour show, kid.
It's a 1 hour show. Have fun with this.
The card's not the matches are not as strong as last week either.
All right. So Tony Khan continues to stir the pot without saying what we're getting.
Yeah.
And he's all but said, expect what you're expecting.
Yeah.
So, and now he added a lot more fire in the last hour or so, tweeting out that fans will enjoy, quote, the most anticipated announcement in AEW history.
Yeah.
So
literally half hour ago.
Yeah. So what are we getting here?
He just dropped it. 5:09 p.m. Central. So literally almost 40 minutes ago, quote unquote, I am betting that excitement from the most anticipated announcement in AEW history at AEW Rampage. The first dance will build up through All Out on pay-per-view. We'll make new fans, plus we'll welcome dormant wrestling households worldwide back into the fold. A new era in AEW begins tomorrow. Man, I mean, is it just Punk? Maybe he's got some more up his sleeve tomorrow. You never know. Maybe
if they really want to be crazy, would they do Daniel Bryan on the same night? I don't think so. No,
maybe
I don't think so.
Maybe it's a new world order with Punk and Bryan. Maybe it's a Hall and Nash
world order.
Maybe it's a Hall and Nash.
Vince sent them there. Vince sent them there to destroy AEW from the inside. That's what he's doing.
Nah, not that, but no. That'd be cool though if it was kind of.
It's not my fantasy booking; it's my nightmare booking. I have a notebook for my fantasy booking, and then I have a notebook for my nightmare booking.
It's still real to me.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is huge. I'm looking forward to this. Jay Feliciano, who knows a thing or two about the wrestling world, always a good friend of the show, Jay, saying, meet up at the Michael Jordan statue. If you are going
There you go.
to Rampage, reach out to me on Twitter at Kev Kellum. I'm going to be there. I would love to meet some people. I will be talking to fans at the show and taping content there. All right. So, and we'll put that out on Sportskeeda over the weekend. I'm going to try my best to do as much as I can here. I'm going to bring the extra battery with me for the phone, you know? So a lot of people love this. Christopher Ryan Cooper always saying, driving home, listening to, thank you guys so much. If you guys want to continue listening to our show, we have the podcast we drop as well for on demand as well. Of course, the big announcements, anticipation. A lot of Simon texting and saying a lot of wrestlers have been teasing his return. So don't tell me that he isn't coming to Rampage tomorrow. Pratik.
There, yeah.
There are those people that want to know, like, what happens if he doesn't show up? What happens if CM Punk isn't there?
Okay, so this afternoon I get an email from Pro Wrestling Tees. Are you in Chicago for AEW Rampage? Come to our retail store. And then down below, 3 CM Punk shirts. Coincidence? I think not.
It's worth noting that Pro Wrestling Tees has a storefront in Chicago.
Yep.
They do big events. They do big sales around stuff like that. So you can come and get a freshly printed shirt the day of this show that has a CM Punk graphic on it.
Don't have to pay shipping.
And they're in the merchandise business here. So our very own Mike, who's in the chat, says, anybody wants to get a photo with Sportskeeda, tweet it as SK Wrestling. Yeah, dude, totally. Absolutely. Sportskeeda, baby. That's what we're doing. We're doing Sportskeeda all night long.
We'll make you famous.
Duffy is back saying, a great channel this is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, guys, if you know other wrestling fans, we are so close to that 20,000 subscriber goal that we've been working at for a couple months now. So try and get us there. We really appreciate it here. So this is interesting as well. People asking, doesn't Tony have a scrum after Rampage tomorrow? That should say it all. I've heard about that. I won't be covering that as far as I know. I would have known that by now. I have talked to some people in local media that are trying to pursue something here. It is worth noting that there are some potential other events that CM Punk is doing in the next few weeks in Chicago that I don't know enough about to confirm them. So I'm not going to say what those are. All right. Those are not wrestling related, by the way. So before anyone runs off and says, oh, this guy didn't tell us what he knows. And I don't know enough to say what it is. I know enough to hear that people are talking about it. It just isn't announced yet because it hasn't happened. There's plenty of times when things happen with wrestlers that don't happen. So why would we talk about them if they're not going to happen? Right?
Right.
Shout out to Lucky watching in South Africa. Cool. CM Punk or Murphy are loading for AEW. Well, there's other names that other people are talking about going to AEW that hit the market recently after that 90-day non-compete window. Is he not the only person that shows up tomorrow night? We've already talked about that.
A lot of wind blowing that maybe Malachi Black and Murphy at All Out possibly. That would be a hell of a match. We talked about that on my podcast last night about a possible because we were like, you cannot leave Malachi Black off of All Out. Where do you go with that? And that's where maybe Bud Murphy, maybe Murphy comes in there.
It's worth noting with All Out, there's a lot of changes with this show for the AEW All Out. The trajectory looked like we were getting Adam Hangman Page, who won a title shot against Kenny Omega, with the Dark Order good guy faction taking on Kenny Omega and his bad guy faction, and then they had matches that had his championship match in doubt, and those matches were lost, and the Dark Order lost. Hangman Page is out of the picture. He is having a child with his wife, and that is the baby is expected around that time, so that's why he's out of the picture.
That's probably why
that's what's widely reported.
That's probably why they called the audible, and they're probably going to do it at Full Gear instead.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out here. And then you also had the Labors of Jericho. So where Chris Jericho was going through all these different hurdles and pizza cutters from Nick Gage and a WCW Cruiserweight throwback match with Juventud Guerrera and all this different stuff.
Not related to pregnancy.
To take on MJF, to finally get a match with him. And he couldn't use his finishing maneuver, the Judas Effect, and he lost. He tapped out. He went all the way to the mountain and got tapped out by MJF. The biggest win in MJF's career, the most shocking one of Chris Jericho's AEW run. And you would have thought that those matches, Hangman and Omega, MJF and Jericho, would be on this pay-per-view. Now what are you doing on this pay-per-view? I don't know if anyone's going to really care about it because we know if we get CM Punk tomorrow, are we getting him out on the pay-per-view in 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. And Labors of Jericho, not pregnancy related, by the way.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
awful. You are awful. You were ridiculous here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were ridiculous here.
Yeah, it is interesting on just how things are going to shape up for the card there with it all out. Literally around the corner. I mean, 2 weeks away, right?
Tim saying that Braun Strowman has been counting down the days of his non-compete on Twitter. That is interesting as well. I've heard about that. See how that plays out as well. And we have Chris watching from Scotland. Thank you so much. I'm very interested in the development of this one. I'd love to see CM Punk again perform, though. Well, Chris, you better keep your eyes on. I know we have the time difference there, about 6 hours. Maybe want to wake up real early on Saturday morning if you want to check this out live here. It's going to be interesting here, too, as Sean Smith brings up that Rampage got Rampages in the ratings by SmackDown. Well, they're not head-to-head. It's worth noting, SmackDown is the most watched show in professional wrestling, which had 2.5 million viewers.
SmackDown's on network TV as well. So
network TV, completely different game here. I think SmackDown will be an interesting one as well tomorrow. We get some hype here. I wonder if Finn Balor can throw a little bit of a curveball at this big main event here with John Cena and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns did not have nice things to say about CM Punk.
No.
We will get into that. That's coming up here in a minute. I do want to remind you guys, if you haven't done it already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We have a lot going on this weekend. We will be live after SummerSlam on Saturday. We will be live after NXT TakeOver on Sunday. We will be live after SmackDown and Rampage tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll be able to report from the arena. So, lot to cover here. More questions kind of popping in here with AEW a few weeks away. It's crazy. They're running the same market 4 times over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No one does it. Steven Chambers, what are the chances of Adam Cole appearing at All Out?
Yeah, I'm hearing things about how there may not be a no compete with Adam Cole, which is weird, and I don't know, but I'm gonna say not likely, but you never know. But I've heard those rumblings that there may not be a no compete with him. I guess your contract runs out. If your contract runs out, you're free to go basically. So
depends on what your contract says. It's not like everyone has the same set standard contract. It's also worth noting he signed a short-term working agreement.
This was just an extension of
an extension
what
so
he had.
This is an extension so they could negotiate a new deal. And obviously he's going to be on a pay-per-view on Sunday. He's going to be in a 3 stages of hell match on Sunday. Everyone is forgetting that he's going to be in a huge match that is likely going to end his time in NXT.
Yep.
So let's not forget that. And they're going to go balls out with everyone talking about all these other things. Him and O'Reilly are going to go all out. I'm for lack of a better phrase, all out.
Yep.
Don't think that he wants to go off and kind of half-ass it. No. This is Adam Cole, a baby. You're going to get all of the babies against KOR. It's going to be a big one. I think people are sleeping on a lot of different things with NXT because all this noise of CM Punk and AEW that they're going to come out all guns blazing this weekend.
All sorts of history with him and Kyle O'Reilly as well. I mean, I saw Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in a chain match in Dallas when they were there for WrestleMania 5 years ago for Supercard of Honor when they were still with Ring of Honor. They had a chain match and they just killed it there. So this has been a feud that goes even back before NXT.
A lot of people with good takes here, and I'm appreciating everyone's positivity. Have fun.
This power of positivity.
Yeah, if you're like, I don't like Raw, I don't like SmackDown, just watch SummerSlam and have fun. This is the pay-per-view. You're gonna get all the big payoffs with none of the fat. You're gonna get the lean meat this weekend, and just enjoy the steak that they're gonna serve up for you. Because here's the thing, I think it's gonna do well.
It's like a buffet, man. You got Rampage, you got SummerSlam, you got TakeOver, then you reset.
Like WrestleMania.
Then you reset. You got Raw, then you got NXT, then you got Dynamite. There's no breath. You don't have a breath to really take until Thursday.
So do we get CM Punk tomorrow at AEW? I love this prediction here from Dave Langer. If you don't know, the Bulls theme song is from Alan Parsons' project, and CM Punk tweeted this out, and it was one of those cryptic teasers he did, right?
Yeah, one of those
Instagram and when you hear it, the Bulls come out to this, and they do, and now, all right? If they do something like that, if he has a Bulls-themed introduction, it'd be pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
Be pretty pretty badass.
I just say, man, just fire up that cult of personality. That riff,
But
that riff
I love
just
this.
hits.
Dave saying, play a little bit of the Bulls theme song, cut it to Cult of Personality, and they have the money; they would pay for it. Here.
Yeah. Now the question is, when do you do it? Do you do it right off the bat, right off the jump, or do you stretch it all the way out to the end?
So it'll be interesting. I mean, my thought process is you do it at the end.
Yeah.
Or at least you do it near the end so people can enjoy like a full segment, and maybe you do it 45 minutes before the end, and then that's the whole last quarter hour is him.
Get yourself that Nielsen.
Yeah, because you want the quarter hour, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And you want that here, and people want to see Benny the Bull accompany CM Punk to the ring, Tommy the Hawk from the Blackhawks. They want
hell, just have Jordan accompany him to the ring for crying out
Richard
loud.
Otley says, "Does CM Punk have ownership of Cult of Personality theme music or WWE?" Richard, that is owned by the band who played at Living Color, who's an incredibly talented live band.
Yeah.
One of the better progressive rock, hard rock bands of all time.
Yep.
That is their song. WWE paid for the rights to that song when they used it. And AEW not opposed for paying the rights of what's popular songs you would hear in movies and stuff like that. They have that with the Pixies. They have that with Jungle Boy, his Tarzan. So
Wild Thing,
paying for Wild Thing. So a lot of different stuff here. CM Punk is on everyone's lips, right?
Maybe the final countdown.
Final countdown would be Daniel Bryan coming out. I'd be a fan of that.
Maybe that gets it.
Roman Reigns is making the media rounds here for SummerSlam, and this huge match he's going to do, which will be in a stadium in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium, and he's speaking to BT Sport and Ariel Helwani, very reputable source, and he said some very, very provocative things. It's interesting because CM Punk came up. I guess Ariel Helwani understands he's going to ask the Speak CM Punk question. He was talking about him, right? So I asked the WWE champion who's had some time in the ring, Punk, about this. And Reigns said some, I don't want to say dismissive things, but he just kind of laid into it a little bit. He name dropped Punk. Basically alluded that he noted that he wasn't as big a draw as John Cena. He wasn't a needle mover. Let me just read the whole quote here. I can see it from both perspectives. A rising tide, all boats. Everybody benefits. So I do think there's this strange threshold. But those statements are coming from bitter people who possibly thought they were better than they really were. Ugh. And when it comes down to it, CM Punk was not as good or as over as John Cena. He wasn't as good or as over and didn't move the needle like The Rock. It just was what it was. From a full-time performer, I understand the frustration and wanting more. At the time when Punk was very frustrated in WWE, he expressed, I'll have a match with The Rock. But I'll go against John Cena, but I'm better than all of them. And you still push those guys. Some of those guys at the time were just part-time guys. Continuing with what Reigns said here. From a full-time performer, I understand the frustration and wanting more, but like I said before, you've got to take it. I'm a full-time performer, but I've done everything that needs to be done to stay in this position, to be in this position, to continue to make the opportunity for myself, and to be in the main event of SummerSlam against John Cena. Well, this is more about him than it is anything, right?
Oh, of course.
But obviously...
Acknowledge me.
Obviously, him bringing up CM Punk is a little intriguing there, don't you think?
He might be in his head a little bit, huh?
It just seems like the timing of it is a little odd. But
seems a little threatened, huh? A little threatened.
I don't know about that. That's a little bit there.
Well, I mean, of course, no wrestler is gonna move the needle like Stone Cold or The Rock did, because that was the Attitude Era. That was when the most eyes were ever on the product, and there's probably never going to be a moment where more eyes are going to be on the product than the Attitude Era. John Cena obviously sold a lot of merchandise, had a lot of fans with especially the kids, and so that's all. That's kind of a different situation with Cena as opposed to The Rock. The Cena, it wasn't. the Ruthless Aggression era did not bring as many people in as the Attitude era, but still Cena had his own kind of niche and stayed in that position for a very long time until he decided to kind of go the same path as The Rock in Hollywood. So now CM Punk is not like The Rock or Cena, but has a cult following, pun intended. And, he moves the needle in a different way, so to speak. I mean, he's still being talked about 7.5 years after his last wrestling match. And, look what sold out a building, and he hasn't wrestled a match in 7.5 years. Not even an announced for it. And he's sold out a building. So
it'll definitely be interesting here. I mean, it's all sold on this here.
Yeah.
Philip Campbell just taking a shot here at the big dog saying Roman Reigns will never be on the Rock's level. Well, that match is looming in the background, isn't it?
That's going to be that's got to be a Hollywood Mania match, right?
Yeah. And even Roman Reigns said, why do it this? He's talking about it openly. He's saying, why would we do it this year coming up? Why don't we wait until LA and do it in his background? I kick his ass there. So it'll be interesting.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah. This Sunday's going to be crazy. The reactions to Reigns and Cena are going to be through the roof in Vegas. It's going to be, I'm really going to enjoy that because they had a huge reaction.
Last night on my podcast, both Matt and I predicted Cena winning. I did not expect him to agree with me. I did not expect him to agree. And like 3 weeks ago, I would have said Roman Reigns is going to win, but the tide shifted over the past 3 weeks, and I switched. I think that he'll lose it back to Reigns at the Super Show on SmackDown at MSG, but I think Cena's going to get 17 on Sunday, to be honest with you.
Let me know what you guys think here. Rudy Lopez doesn't agree with you. He said Cena ain't sticking around, so he won't be winning the belt. It's going to go back to Hollywood.
He's sticking around at least another 3 weeks, so there is a chance he will be winning Sunday. A very big chance.
It'll be interesting here. WWE tried to lock down some big things for SummerSlam that didn't happen, and no fault to their own. They definitely tried to do some big things. Tried to get Cardi B involved, but she's with child. Tried to get Megan Thee Stallion, very popular rapper. That Megan Thee Stallion Cardi B connection, quite popular, a huge song on WAP. And Cardi B, her song Up is the theme song for this year's SummerSlam. So that makes sense.
Also, a little connection with Bianca Belair as well.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion, they did a very viral photo shoot that went when they appeared together at Rolling Loud, the big music festival. They also tried to get Mike Tyson, reportedly. Mike Tyson, the big boxing legend, obviously a WWE Hall of Famer, a part of the infamous Angle heading into WrestleMania 14, and really helped WWE win the Monday Night War as a pivotal celebrity figure in WWE's history. And WWE likes doing stuff with celebs, likes moving the needle. Mike Tyson revived popularity for him after his recent Triller fight and his different pay-per-view fights back in the game, doing these exhibitions, if you will. But a no-go of Mike Tyson with WWE. Mike Tyson did appear in a wrestling show recently with AEW, appearing on some pay-per-view events for them last year. So it did not appear. They did tease something with him and Mike Tyson, but it never, Mike Tyson and Jericho, but it never turned into a match. It never became the thing it was supposed to be. What say you? Mike Tyson, no go here.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to get Mike Tyson to do some voiceover work for the SummerSlam opening package, and
that'd be cool. Him in Vegas, he's the fight guy in Vegas.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No word, according to PW Insider, no word on why talks were unsuccessful, but the WWE failed to lock Tyson into that, and still no word on who they're going to get to narrate that opening package. Hey, WWE, this guy's available for a paycheck. Just get me.
Johanna Penn is saying, what if CM Punk doesn't show up? That would be hilarious. No, it wouldn't. I'm going to be there. Do you think I want to? I don't want to deal with that riot.
I saw a guy on Twitter say he paid $400 for his ticket. He's like, he would not be happy either.
I'm trying not to laugh at this because I know what I paid for mine.
You paid probably face value, didn't you?
I caught the presale. I was lucky. I caught the presale.
But yeah, that's all that is on Tyson. No word on why he did it, and no word on anybody that will be replacing him.
You want to jump into some questions here? We had a couple questions in the chat.
Let's do it.
All right. Once again, guys, you can follow Jeremy on the Twitter machine. Where do they go, bud?
At JB Huskers.
You can follow me at Kev Kellum. I'll be tweeting. You guys can tweet out me anytime. I will be at AEW Rampage. If you're going to be out there, hit me up. I want to talk to fans. And
Meet at the Jordan statue.
Yeah, maybe we'll set up a meetup at the Jordan statue. So here we go. Tim Hardy, any surprises at SummerSlam or NXT TakeOver, do you think? Absolutely. This is the time to bring people back and reintroduce characters or maybe shake things up again. If Becky Lynch was to return, this would be the way to do it. And it seems like that's the most interesting thing you can do with that triple threat of the women on Raw, which does feel like one of the more. Here's the thing. Charlotte and Rhea had a great match at Money in the Bank. The build of that, not fantastic, but they ended up having one of the better matches on that show, and they flipped that crowd on their side. And that crowd wanted Becky Lynch, and Charlotte said, no, you're not going to get her. I'm going to flip the bird at you. I'm going to have a great match. And she did that. What do you think here? Is this how you bring Becky Lynch back? I think that would be the huge thing you could do on Saturday.
I honestly think Becky's going to come back. I think Sasha's going to beat Bianca, and Becky's going to come back there because I think Nikki ASH is going to sneak out of that triple threat and then set up a Batman Joker feud with Alexa Bliss next. So I think that's where they're going to go with the women. There's got to be some surprises, especially TakeOver. I think they got to do something monumental to get the stink off of the negativity of the releases, the negativity off of WWE not looking at it as a priority anymore, looking at it as, we're going to tape shows now and not make it live, things like that, and just
transition. And the thing is, the tape shows not make them live. That could be completely temporary. That isn't a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee. It's not even an official thing yet. It may have been.
I agree with you. There's a lot of pressure on TakeOver. They got to deliver in these circumstances.
Yeah. So,
question here from Victor. I want to keep these tight here. Victor says, "Do you see Kenny Omega wearing the Chick Magnet shirt?"
Yep, I did. I saw.
This is a reference to CM, as in Chick Magnet. That was Punk's original backyard wrestling name.
Yeah, he had a Cookie Monster. He had a Cookie Monster shirt on the week before.
Yeah, so that's what they're going for.
Yep.
It'll be interesting here. I see it. They're making those illusions. They love AEW loves being clever. They love triggering the internet. They love it. They love being not cute. Cute is the best. It's a weird, very weird description. Do you understand what I'm going for there, Jeremy?
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Michael Martinez does not think CM Punk shows up tomorrow.
Boy,
so I'm not betting on it.
The internet will burn down.
Yeah, definitely here. Stephen Chambers with a question here. If he gets his briefcase back, because Baron Corbin's broke ass stole it, what are the chances of Big E cashing in at the pay-per-view?
No.
At SummerSlam?
Not yet. I don't think so. I think somebody reported it. I can't remember who. Don't expect it yet. Not yet. Mm-hmm. But I think Corbin is going to hit a slot machine. So eventually it's going to be Rich Corbin.
I think it'd be more fun if he lost all the money. If he goes up and then he loses it all like this quickly. I'm enjoying the Baron Corbin stuff. It's very
fun. It is. It's interesting.
Please tell me there's going to be a Baron Corbin Las Vegas vignettes.
Has to be,
because he's not going to have matches. He's not booked for a match. He's just going to have vignettes throughout the night of him losing money.
Is SmackDown in Vegas tomorrow?
I don't know. It's in Phoenix.
Okay.
Phoenix, Arizona.
There's casinos in Phoenix.
But they could have him. They could have him in Vegas early.
Oh yeah.
I got here early because I couldn't get a flight. I couldn't get a direct flight to Phoenix, so I couldn't go to Spain.
He hitchhiked his way. He hitchhiked his way to Vegas from Phoenix.
He's selling autographs in Vegas because he knows he can make more money. Richard Newman says, so is Punk supposed to show an AEW Friday night or SummerSlam? All indications, Richard. It's okay. Hey, also people, if there's casual wrestling fans coming back for a big weekend like this, they're going to ask questions like this.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're still wrestling fans too, no matter how much you want to say that they're not. Stop doing that. Invite more people to the party. Richard, right now the idea is that CM Punk is all but expected to show up and make his return from over 7 years of being away from the wrestling business back in AEW. Yes, he appeared on a WWE TV show on Fox Sports, but that was a deal with Fox Sports. And so this would be him returning and performing in some way in the ring for All Elite Wrestling. And a lot of people are looking forward to it. It'll certainly be interesting here. I want to get to more of your questions here. You see any hot questions here? In the...
I'm going to type in a banner right now. So ask us your questions while I type in a banner. For asking your question.
Here we go. Roball Matthew has a question. Do you think Becky would go to Raw or go with her husband, Seth Rollins, on SmackDown? Where do they need her more? I would say they need her more on Raw.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely said that they do not need to work together on screens. So, but they
But
do
also,
want, but they want to be on the same brand, but they're not going to be on screen together.
They
So
want to be on the same. They want to be on the same brand so they can travel. That affects
Yes.
your life. That affects your travel.
So they're going to be on the same brand.
I think
not-
WWE would want to make her happy. I think they would want to put her on SmackDown.
Yeah, they're gonna.
If that's the case.
Yeah, they're gonna be on the same brand, but they're not gonna work together.
Jeffrey McGee saying 300 additional seats just went on sale for tomorrow's Rampage. I did not know that.
Really,
Jeffrey? I'll double check with you on that. Maybe you guys want to do your own scoop in there, especially if you're trying to get tickets here. Right. It's worth noting if you're going to do that, you're going to get those tickets at face value. You're not going to have to pay all those big StubHub prices. For people reselling their tickets and trying to make profit off the top.
Beat those damn scalpers.
Oh, I mean, some people want to do that. I've had some people. There was something coming up. For me, it didn't come through. I almost would have sold my tickets for Friday, so it didn't happen here. Here we go. A lot of people ask me about this Cookie Monster T-shirt. I don't mind that here. Here we go. Here, I got to shout this out. John saying it's my birthday tomorrow, so that'd be a cool present. Perhaps I'm with my kids, so I'll be happy. Happy birthday, John! Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
I wish I could order one of those old mid-90s WWF superstars call you with a special greeting. It was Cameo before Cameo. Superstars.
Got one right here.
There we go. Here we go. Is the WWE draft happening after SummerSlam? Yes, it is expected to happen sometime this fall.
October
is the time frame.
Rocktober.
Got
one right
here. What do we got here? Wyatt. Not Bray Wyatt says, what was your thoughts on Sting taking the double powerbomb table spot on Dynamite this week?
I absolutely loved that he no-sold that. I love that he just
popped what?
Right up.
I didn't mind it, but by the end of the night, what I was sick of? People not selling being hit by hard and not inanimate objects.
Yeah, that
happens
all the time.
The biggest losers in this week's Dynamite. You can go check on my Twitter. The biggest loser in this week's Dynamite was a table, a chair, and a steel guardrail because they couldn't beat anybody.
Oh, man.
And that happened all in one show, by the way, and a baseball bat. All right, baseball bat, a steel chair, a table. All of those things were used in various matches where no one was disqualified. All right, so it was different rules, right?
Yeah.
And no one was disqualified. And no one got pinned from those maneuvers.
What a maneuver.
What was your thoughts on
I'll tell you what, though.
Aside from that, how cool was it to see Sting wrestle again on TV? It was amazing.
Man, that was awesome. And that tag match, God, that they got me on that near fall when Jungle Boy hit that brainbuster on the chair. I thought that was it. Mm-hmm. That was a good near fall right there. Hey, your boy.
James Espanto Fernando. Look at that. I just pulled that out of my pocket. One of our big fans. Catch up with James. James, you've been with me for years. Mwah, I blow you kisses, James. He goes, good old JB and Big Kev. What do you think about the rumor about the power struggle between Triple H and his non-supporters within WWE? Sometimes the backstage shenanigans are slightly more entertaining than some things we get to see on TV. I've heard rumblings of this widespread. Is Triple H the persona non grata in some WWE circles? Is he the guy who gets the throne when King McMahon steps aside? I don't know. I'm not opposed to it because I thought he did some fantastic things with NXT.
Yeah.
Look at the superstars he's helped craft at NXT. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. Everyone forgets that those people were developed in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
His NXT.
Yeah. It's kind of disheartening, but hopefully the train keeps plugging away and eventually, you get over some of those hurdles and still can reach the end goal with what you want out of NXT.
Think with the exception of Vince McMahon himself in WWE and talking to people that have worked there, it's Vince's company, right?
Yeah.
And it's his vision that is the overall vision. Now, is there one person who's going to get that role? God forbid Vince doesn't. I never see Vince retire.
Nope.
He will be writing and rewriting television
till he croaks
every ounce of his body. And I everyone who doesn't like Vince and says he's out of a touch. Look how hard this man works, and look what he's done for your life. with the entertainment he's provided you. Even if he makes some stuff that really aggravates you, he's the Walt Disney of this thing.
Yeah, because like he is so out of.
You're into wrestling because of the wrestling he presented. Even if he made wrestling you didn't like, he made wrestling you loved. You can't forget that.
It was made fun of him because he was so out of touch of the outside world because he was so involved, so engulfed in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
He thought like a loaf of bread cost $8 because he had no idea of the outside world because he was so engulfed in the wrestling world.
Yeah. So is there a power struggle between him, very talked about recent executive in WWE, Nick Khan, not related to Tony Khan. Nick Khan said some interesting things that we cover in depth on tonight's episode of Inside Cradle. All right. That'll be dropping around 7 p.m. Central tonight. So if you want even more of me talking wrestling, we'll be doing that. Impact will be out tonight. That'll be busy as well. Follow Jose G and Rick. They are on the ground in Las Vegas, busy with that. What do you got going on, bud?
We lost the mid card. We came back from our summer vacation. We recorded last night. That just dropped literally about an hour ago. So Matt and I preview SummerSlam and Takeover, talk about Punk's arrival, talk about the rest of television this week and some of the top headlines. So go search for Lost in the Mid Card on podcast or on YouTube, or go to litmcpodcast.com and enjoy some 90 minutes of Matt and I talking some wrestling.
If you want all the SummerSlam content, we have it up now on our channel, including an interview with WWE champion Bobby Lashley. That is available as well. Seth Rollins making some interesting comments about John Cena crossing the line in a recent promo. All those videos are available now.
And let me give you some SummerSlam teases if I can.
What's your SummerSlam teases, baby?
Looks like there's some small teases from our own Rick Ucchino. A little snippets with Drew McIntyre, Nikki ASH, and Samoa Joe.
Oh, we're gonna have them.
5 minutes with each. It looks like he's got.
Woo! Look at all that content coming at you, baby.
Yep. Little 5 minute rundowns with Drew, Nikki ASH, and Samoa Joe. Much more yet to come. That's just the tip of the iceberg as him and Jose are in Vegas.
All right, so we're going to be turning that content over like Madhouse. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Let's get us to 20,000. You can do it. 20,000 subs on YouTube. All of our great fans on Facebook, on Snapchat. Thank you so much. A lot of great content for you guys here. Enjoy the weekend. Just have fun. Watch wrestling. Like, tweet out all the fun things you like about it. I challenge you to not be overly negative and have a good time. That's what you got to let yourself do here. I am looking forward to this. Thank you guys so much here. I appreciate the support a whole lot. I know Jeremy does as well. We're working hard here, man. We're really working hard on a bunch of different stuff. Shout out to Raju. Shout out to Nearbon. Shout out to Roni, all the different people on the back end of Sportskeeda.com. This is a big weekend for us, and I know those guys are going to be hustling really hard. Remember, when watching wrestling, you got to do the most important thing. It is the most important thing, even if CM Punk shows up and you lose your mind. You got to do this thing. You just have to do it. You know, whether you got I want to complain. No. You got to do this one thing. It's very important. What's that, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.